All right, this is actually round two. The first time I interviewed Allison, it was apparently a practice because we had technical issues. And I can't tell you how excited I am to be back for round two, Allison, because you really rocked my world in the first recording. I wish everybody could listen to it. But I've got Allison Larson here today, and we have so much freaking fun together. And she is just a badass. She is a voracious learner. She executes and implements more than anybody. She's on every call that I host. She is leaned in to coaching others, learning, contributing, sharing her best stuff. She's going to be a speaker at Slay with Shay. And I think she's seriously the most relevant loan officer to follow and work with in today's day and age. Okay. So let me tell you about Allison. Allison is in St. Paul, Minneapolis area. She's 34 years old, just had her second baby in what, 15 months? I don't know. You popped them both out. Bang, bang.
Not even 13 and a half months. Yeah.
You went on a big IVF journey, so there's probably a reason why you went bang, bang once it started working. She's got also
Yes.
two beautiful, fun stepchildren. So she's got four little ones at home. She started 10 years ago out of college as a dialer and then became an LOA and then jumped into being her own loan officer. Now she's become a branch manager and now an area manager. Just in the last year and a half since we started working together, Allison, I've watched you blow up your business. Like all of a sudden things clicked and you've taken it to another level. And you have put yourself out there to now support, recruit, train, and lead a team. And you've got a team in North Dakota and Nashville and Minnesota. And it's just been freaking amazing to see you do what you do. I want to just dive right in and talk about, your charm or your hustle or that chip on your shoulder that got you your early success. Because you told me you got to about 20 million or about 60 to 80 units kind of quickly. So what did you
Yeah.
do then? What were the strengths that you used to get your initial success?
So when I first got into the business, I was a dialer. So all I knew was how to pick up the phone and call strangers. And then I was a loan partner, but really didn't know I was upfront. So I was on the lead side, just calling, connecting, converting. And then when I became a junior, I I was still in college because I was contemplating still going to law school at this point, and became a junior loan officer. Was like, if this doesn't work, I can still go to law school, but I'll just give it a try for a little bit. And this was there was some kind of lower interest rate market, or I don't even, it was like past the refi boom. And the loan officer I worked for at the time gave me a database of like washed up leads that they've tried a million times that they never refinance, and said, if you can find something in it to start on, go for it. And if I wasn't calling that list, I was just cold calling realtors all day long because that's all I knew how to do was pick up the phone. And I remember May of the year I graduated college, I made $14,000 in commission, and I was on a lower comp plan because I was a junior, and or like a junior loan officer. So it was like half commissions at that point. I think it was like 13 loans in a month. And I thought, if I can make 14 grand in a month for forever, I'll be rich. Now I know 14 grand a month wouldn't get me that far. It's my current life. But when you're broke and you're in college and all your other friends make $10 an hour and you just made 14 grand in a month, and you didn't come from a household that had money like that, that's a really big deal. And so I wholeheartedly leaned in and was like, all I have to do is pick up the phone and connect with people, and pick up the phone and connect with people, and just kept at it.
And why was being successful so important to you? Why were you considering law school? What about your upbringing brought you to
Yeah.
that point?
Yeah. So my parents got divorced when I was in third grade. My dad moved out of the house. He was bipolar. And my younger baby brother was about 6 months old, and there was an incident that he wasn't in a safe situation in our house. And my mom, that was the breaking point, and she kicked my dad out of the house. And so lived with a single mom. We were in and out of a women's shelter called Safe Harbor in Sheboygan. And I just knew, I watched my mom sad and putting on this fake brave face always, and scared and all these things, and trying to make the best of things for us all the time. She always did her best. And I just knew, like, I never wanted that for my kids. I never wanted to be the mom who had to fake it or go to bed scared or not know where we're going to get our next meal from and pretend like that was okay and totally normal, right? I just didn't want that for my kids. I wanted the stability, and I wanted it for myself too. I crave stability more than anything else in the world and feeling safe at home and in my marriage and everything. And so for me, it was that constant drive of how can I build that? Of course, it comes with a beautiful life too. You see people who have money and they seem like everything is perfect and they don't worry about anything. And we had some relatives who did well. So I got like a glimpse of what that looked like. I was like, that looks great. And so, yeah, I always leaned into that throughout life. And that's what's going to keep pushing me forward.
Were there some key, like, tough moments that you went through that you pull on for strength today? Like when you don't want to make the calls and you don't want to do the things, or you want to
Yeah.
go into whiner victim mode. Is there some key memories that you
Yeah.
tap into?
So I think it's interesting. I think a lot of people have these key. I'll share what I've gone through, but I think whatever you've gone through, whether it's this bad or less bad or whatever, and a lot of people just sit in it and they feel bad for themselves. And instead of that, I take those little moments and I pep talk myself. Like, picking up the phone, not that hard. I've been through this, right? When I was in high school, I remember the day very vividly. My dad struggled with mental health issues my whole life. He was in and out of my life. I didn't see him for 2 years, and I'd see him every weekend. And this was a phase where I hadn't seen him in a couple months. He wasn't in the best place, drinking, things like that. And my stepdad walked into the gym after school at volleyball practice, and to the core of my being, I knew something was wrong. And he said, "Your dad died." And walked out of the gymnasium that day, and your whole life changes. You think about getting married and your dad not being there, and my baby brother was in kindergarten, and he's never going to remember his dad. And I remember walking to the kitchen and coming in the back door. My stepdad is heartbroken, like doesn't even know what to say. And my mom is sitting there making dinner, like flipping something on the stovetop, like, "We're strong, no big deal. We're good. We got this. It's all good." She's like, "Honey, you're going to be fine." And it's those moments. I know my mom probably went to bed heartbroken for me, right? But it's how you show up and you pull all your strength together to figure out those next phases. I had shared with you, there's people in your life that cheer you on or stick with you, and they can just say a couple words to you that forever stick with you. When we went to this woman's shelter, and this was before my stepdad came into our life. Once he came into our life, like, we could afford food and things were okay, but still lived a total middle class America family. He's a truck driver, has been for 30 years. My mom did stay at home daycare, like total normal middle America, Wisconsin family. But before that, we went to this woman's shelter, Safe Harbor, and there was this woman. I wish I could remember her name. I need to track her down, remember her name. I can picture her in the whole thing. And my mom would go to sessions to work on like how to find a job and budgeting and things like that while we would be in therapy. I didn't know it was therapy. I thought you're just playing with this older woman. And we had to do this exercise where you wrote down things about yourself that described yourself. And I wrote down things like polite, follows the rules, always listens to my mom, does my chores, like just very like by the book things. And this woman read the list and I could see on her face, she was almost heartbroken. And she looked at me, she's like, "You're so much more than someone that follows the rules. You are so much more than a good girl. You're a person that attracts people and has a sparkly personality. Lean into your uniqueness and be you all the time. That's all you need to do."
Mm.
And through life, you figure out how you get attention for certain things. And so for a long time, being sweet and positive, that was enough to get attention, right? Being the best worker and the best studier and thinking about these things. You get a little older in high school and in college, I realized I was pretty. And being pretty girl got you fun things in life. And I leaned into that. And those were very, very fun days too. And then you grow up and you have kids and you're like, okay, what version of me is best? And now I've learned the best version of me is a healthy me, a non-party girl version of me, one who feels safe and sound in my marriage and at my home and is proud of myself every day for showing up and being a good mom. But now what's been really fun is showing up for my lawn officers, showing up for my team, and showing up for the people around me. We wrote a 5-year letter to ourselves for your event.
Yep.
And in my letter that's getting back mailed to us, I know an entire page of my letter when I look back is about Shannon on my team and what I want to help her build and what I want her to experience for her kids. And to me, that's what's really fun about this business. It's not how many loans can Allison close. It's how much money can I help Shannon and her family save. what vacation can her kids go on? Because I helped them. So now I'm impacting someone else to have that experience, not just my kids.
Yeah, it's possible when you start feeling that you have your stability and your security that now you can start shining and giving and supporting others. And I also just want to acknowledge that you are a woman that when you see what you want, you go and freaking get it. Um,
I have to tell you something really funny. So I thought back about this after our last one when I was talking about the woman saying I was like special or unique. And then there's someone in your life who tells you like, well, that's stupid to be special and unique. You need to stop it.
oh,
So when I was in high school, it's small town. There's cliquey girls and whatever. And high school girls are awful. They're all wonderful humans now. It's totally fine. But in my yearbook, someone wrote in my yearbook, a girl thought was one of my best friends wrote in my yearbook, you're never afraid to be you. I bet you that'll take you far in life. And I thought she meant it to be nice. And then I was signing someone else's yearbook, and she made a joke about saying that in my yearbook, talking bad about me in someone else's yearbook, and I saw it. And that was the moment where I was like, oh my gosh, people don't like me for being me.
oh,
That I should damper that, and I shouldn't show up that way anymore. I should go fit in with everybody else because people don't like that. They don't want you to be louder or sparklier or have an idea first. It just shifts your mentality a little bit. And then getting into this industry, it takes you a little bit, but you start to go, oh, wait, no, that actually does pay off. And now hindsight, I look around, I'm like, I did okay. We'll be fine.
thank you to that girl. We
Yeah,
all have those
exactly.
people that it just, I think you could be an illuminator or a diminisher. And
Hmm.
you are somebody that's chosen to be an illuminator, to literally brighten people's day on every phone call, in every text, in every moment. You are just an unbelievable trust builder slash marketer. And it's been so fun for me to watch you do that. What has learning your archetypes done to help you in your business? Because, by the way, what we didn't talk about is you had this early success. Then you were
Hmm.
stuck at about 100 loans and could not break 10 loans a month, couldn't get that 120. But last year, you sailed up to 188. This year, you're on track to be over 200. So, what caused that? Let's talk about the archetype. Where's that helped you? And then let's
Yeah.
go break down what caused those leaps.
Yeah. So I've always had coaching, and I have hopped coaching programs. I've literally done every single one. And in every one, I learned something unique and different that I can apply into my business. But for me, the biggest leap, the one I had most recently, was aligning with Guild and you and Go Coaching and having this tag team duo approach of keeping me really, really accountable. It was getting on a call on our Monday sales call every single week and saying my leads and my deals and my pre-approvals, and then hearing what Amanda Ray's leads, deals, and pre-approvals are. And I hate when I go first, and then I'm like, she beat me by one, right? It's that competition that continuing to drive forward because it gives energy and fun and excitement of they can do it, I can do it too. When I first joined Guild and I'd heard Amanda's numbers, I was like, oh, how is she doing that? And the first thing I did was get on a Zoom call with her and go, how are you doing it? Telling me everything you're doing. But it's studying everyone's business and putting it into my own. Part of that is, the goldfish in the bowl, it only is going to grow as big to the tank that it's in.
Yep.
I jumped into a bigger tank.
Yeah.
I surrounded myself with people who were doing way bigger things that could teach me how. So that was a large part of it. The archetypes themselves, knowing I'm a trust builder and a marketer, gives me a ton of clarity of what to focus on in my business. So, people will talk about having a whole body yes, of like, I'm so excited to do this. When I would go to a networking event, I had a whole body no. Made me sick to my stomach. I would be crabby. I'm texting my husband, I'm so mad. I just hate this job and whatever. And I get there, and because I'm having a whole body no, I'm not showing up well. I'm not making it impactful. That wasn't where I should be spending my time. So having the freedom to say to someone, oh, I don't go to networking events. I'm not much of a networker. I'd love to grab coffee though. And connect that way has just kind of empowered me to lean into the things I'm good at.
Yeah, fantastic. You have met new agents consistently, like it's your job.
Mhm.
So,
Because it literally is my job. Yes.
and it's pretty interesting because over and over again, the guests that I have interviewed that have had sustained big success year after year after year, even in these really tough, challenging markets, they always say, I just do the job. Like I have a job and I do the job, and they don't get real mental about it. So what does it mean to you to do your job? What are the things that you think are your job, your responsibility? This is how I've won the week. I did my job.
My number one job is so I know where I get the most bang for my buck. My most bang for my buck as a trust builder is face-to-face meetings. So whether I'm on Zoom or I'm belly to belly with a realtor, my number one job is to see as many people as I can face-to-face in a week.
Yep.
My expectation is it's at least 15 people face-to-face. I track every single week, and I can tell you, unless I was out of town, short week for a conference, something like that, I hit 15 face-to-faces every week this entire year. If I don't have enough pre-approvals on my calendar and I don't have enough new realtor appointments, I'm calling one of my favorite realtors. Today, for example, I'm having lunch with two of my favorite realtors. I see them more often, but it's a face-to-face. I didn't have anything on my calendar. I got to go do a face-to-face, right? I had 5 face-to-faces yesterday before 1 o'clock in the afternoon, right? Like I just cram them in. So I know that's my number one responsibility when I show up every single day is to see people. And the only way to book meetings and see people is to pick up the phone and call people to book the meeting. So if I'm not doing that, I'm calling people to book a meeting. So whether that's following up on old leads to book them for pre-approval, whether that's using someone I just pre-approved to call a real estate agent, then to talk to the realtor about the lead, to then book appointment, to connect with them on something else. It is just that constant rhythm and the number one thing I focus on.
Have you been doing many events this year?
Yes. So we try to do an event, whether it's virtual or in person, about every 6 weeks.
Okay.
And so we had some bigger in-person events in the spring. In-person events just cost more money. Mortgages don't have 500 basis points in them anymore. So we're conscious of how we host events. If I'm going to host an in-person event, I want it to be wildly impactful. And I want top agents there. So other agents are like, wow, they work with Allison. I want to work with Allison. I want it to be an event that no one wants to miss is my goal. I don't want to be begging people to show up to a lunch and learn. And then a virtual event, that's probably where I have lower attendance. Sometimes we get big attendance, but then that's something that can live on. I can have a recorded version I send out to realtors. Hey, did you watch that recording? Hey, you should. This one is going to totally resonate with you. Fast forward to 10 minutes in and watch this part, that type of thing. But it's using that as a vehicle for more than just hosting the event.
That's fantastic. We looked at your numbers and we looked at your calendar. And I think year to date, you're at about 28 new agents have referred you and, through July.
Yeah.
So that was kind of shocking to you, wasn't it?
It was. The more shocking thing is when you asked me to go back and find how many agents I've met with, and I didn't know off the top of my head, but I did go back now and I've met with 36. So that's a pretty good conversion.
28 out of 36 have referred you a lead, maybe haven't closed with you yet. And in 2024, you were also quite amazed by the number of different realtors that referred you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, what was it? Over 100?
It was over 100.
Like 104 or something, yeah.
So what I love is that Allison texts me 2 days ago, and she's like, I'm really working on what's next for me. And I am ready to do 25 to 30 loans a month. So I need to know, what is it? Do I need to get juniors? What do I need to do? And what I said to you, Allison, is like, keep doing what you're doing, and the market being what it is, your efforts will be 3 times as fruitful just with the market turning on a little bit. And I think everybody needs to hear that. You don't need the next new shiny thing. You don't need to go catapulting down the newest, greatest plan. The one thing you do need to make sure is you have capacity for pre-approval meetings. So, if you track everything, and Alice and I were just looking at our dashboards in Salesforce, I mean, girl, you closing 15 loans this month. You closed 20 last month. You got 15 on the board for next month. Or no, you have 20.
We have 23 on the board for August. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, you thought 15 was sucking. So you went into panic.
I was like having a panic attack that we closed 15. I'm like, we need 20 loans every single month. And I look at it like, if we have a month, like we've had some months where we closed 28 loans. To me, it's like that's 8 loans that go in the bank to offset when all of a sudden you hit 17 loans.
Yeah.
To balance out the 20 loans. So I don't look at it as like, oh my gosh, we're the greatest ever. I'm just like, okay, that's a little extra money in the bank when we don't hit the right amount of loans later in the year. Um, and what's been really fun is now having more loan officers. The whole the whole point for me of wanting to grow a branch was I wanted loan officers to have a place where they have culture and community, but where they can grow their business. And like if they need a pricing exception, they can call me for a pricing exception because we're not going to go out of business because we have enough volume to support for me to help you win.
Yep.
I like to win. I want to help you win, right? And I want us to have staff. I don't want to be the company that has to lay a ton of people off. So if we grow with the right people and we're putting up good numbers, that can get us far, right? Like our branch just closed over 100 million with the 7 or 8 loan officers we have year to date.
Yeah. You have resources, you have firepower, you're more competitive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's just that energy exchange that happens. Like you said, everybody has off weeks. And it's probably not because of this week, it's because of the lack of focus 3 weeks ago. But we always need to remember, like, oh, well, look, Tina had a great week and Ellie had a great week. And okay, if Tyler
Yeah.
could do it, I could do it. And then, you just get back going again.
Yeah.
You don't get in that stinky headspace. So when you're doing 8 to 10 loans a month, what were the key systems or mindset shifts that you had to make in order to jump to that 150 mark?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this at Slay with Shay a little too. People love to talk about life balance. And oh my gosh, how are you getting time to work out? And how do you get to have dinner with your husband? And how do you get to go on a walk with your kids at night and not be so strung out about work? Well, it has to start with the systems in your business because otherwise it's always overflowing into your personal life. And if you have the right systems in your business, you've got the right foundation, you can sleep at night because you're not waking up scared about what to happen to that lead, right? And so we had a few main documents we worked off of. They were an Excel spreadsheet and a Word document, an Excel spreadsheet lead tracker, a Word document, because I didn't even know how to build in an Excel, of pre-approval tracking. And then we had our purchase agreement checklist and a greatness tracker. And those 4 pieces of paper have lived on my desk since I knew I should have them, which was pretty early on in the business. And every day you look at the lead tracker. And every Wednesday, I look at my pre-approval tracker and go through call, text, make notes, easy, then update it on my Word document. Every Tuesday and Thursday, I go through my pipeline tracker to see everything's on track. And did I order the appraisal? And is it back? And did I have to send a final commitment? Where are we at? That keeps a good pulse on a to-do list. And then my greatness tracker or sales activity tracker, whatever you want to call it, it's with me everywhere. Talked to someone, wrote the name down, dialed someone, check the box, saw someone face to face. And so I fill in my greatness tracker or my sales activity tracker ahead of the week I'm going into. Because I already know then I don't have enough face to faces. How can I fill Monday for face to faces on Thursday so I don't lose the week on Friday? So many people just look back at their tracking and go, oh, I didn't do it again. Oh, I didn't do it again. Right. And it's flipping the mindset and going, how can I look forward and plan ahead so I can do it again?
What I've found with trust builders is that they will get into systems one way or another. And either A, it's because they're so committed to this life that they want to have outside of work, or they're so committed to being competitive and continuing to grow, or they're so committed to not making the same mistake over and over again, and being reliable and delivering that consistent wow experience because it's all about trust and relationship. But whatever the entry point is, whether it's pain, whether it's greed, whether it's, an idealism, that's how I see trust builders get into systems. When you don't have technician in your top 2 archetypes. So you don't love being in spreadsheets. You don't love being in tax returns or income documentation or even building out Salesforce dashboards or whatever. So what was it for you that got you to surrender to saying, I want to be systematized?
I love my personal life. I love my girlfriends. I love free time. I love going on the lake. I'm a true millennial. And so for me, it was never an option to not have the systems. I also know I'm very prone to feeling anxious. And so if I don't have the systems and then I want to go on the boat on a Friday afternoon, well, then it's going to ruin my boat time because I'm going to feel anxious because I'm worried about it because I don't have a system. And it only takes like once or twice for me to feel an icky feeling for it. Like, no, I'm fixing it. And so everything I do down to the most, so every single Friday, on Friday morning, I journal what happened good in the week, what happened bad in the week, what the littlest microscopic thing that made me feel annoyed during the day, how can I fix it? And I brainstorm ideas on how I can fix it. For example, right now, do you make protein shakes in the morning, Shayla?
No.
Like, okay, so people who make protein shakes, you probably have like a to-go cup. It spills in your stuff. You have to bring it home, or you want to make your shake the next day. You forgot it. It's so annoying. I learned you can buy your own protein, and then you can buy them at the store, but then their quality ingredients aren't there. I learned, because this is something that annoys me most days, that I don't want to make my protein shake. I can pre-make them on Sundays, and I've ordered from Uline these individual, like mass-produced bottles that you can make your own shake in, so I can just pour it in there on Sundays, keep it in the refrigerator, bring it to work every day, and I can throw it away versus forgetting it or having to wash it or opening one up on the way to work and realizing it's crusty inside still or whatever. But it's those little things. I'm obsessed with loving every single day of my life. I will never be a person who says the word Sunday scaries. I love Mondays. To me, it's fun and exciting. It's a change in pace. It's a new week. And showing up with that energy all the time, I think, has contributed to people wanting to work with me, people wanting to work for me, people wanting to pick up my phone calls on Mondays and things like that. But you have to obsess over the little things to fix it to be able to get that momentum.
It's so cool for me to hear because I am 44 and my rebellion is so strong that I do not think about systems. Like it was only through competition that I took on the systems, even being a technician. But I think it's because I've just believed that I can live in massive amounts of chaos. And I've told myself I'm good at chaos and I could be managing all kinds. And it was like a badge of honor. I can't even tell you, like, just this last weekend, you saw on Friday, I'm now not working on Mondays and Fridays. I'm giving myself time freedom. So you have to tell me if I'm starting to be the real millennial that I am, born in 1981. Um, and I purged my house. Like I literally got that bug, where you're like, I'm going to destroy. Everything's getting cleaned out.
Yes.
And I literally, for the first time ever, Allison, have a little bit of a system in my bathroom. Like the left-hand drawer is for like all my cleaning my face and lotions and stuff like that. The right-hand side actually has like makeups and body cream and whatever. So like even this morning, I'm like, okay, what am I doing? I'm washing my face. I go to the left drawer and I take care of that. And then I'm doing my makeup and I go to the right drawer.
Doesn't it feel good?
It feels good and it feels so grown up. Like, okay. And and I very bottom drawer of my sink, I used to pull it out and throw garbage in it because I had this little bin in there. And it would pile up and I would just wait for the housekeeper to eventually figure it out to like throw it away. Like my high heels go on the counter. Like I'm just telling you, I have tons of crusty Tupperware in my car. My car doesn't get washed for one.
That would be like, because to me, I'm like, then I get in the car on Monday and I'm like, ugh, and I do these things too. Everyone does them. Like the overflowing trash. I'm sorry to my cleaning ladies. Yes, I'm never taking the trash out. I will go all the way to the ends of like taking my trash to one of the kids' bathrooms and putting it in their trash. I have never changed the diaper genie. There's certain things, but then I'm a really good delegator. So I've never changed the diaper genie. Full transparency, I've never folded the kids' laundry since they were born. I've had a nanny since they were born. I never have done it. If she's off, if she's sick, the laundry just sits there. Like, I did it one time. I'm like, I suck at folding this laundry. She's really good at it. Why am I doing this? Like, she'll have time tomorrow, right? And so I'm a very, very good delegator and I know what I'm good at. But if I don't feel like I'm in my happy space to do what I'm good at, I won't do it.
That's
And I
so
just know
cool.
myself so well. So I know my car has to be clean. My room has to feel very like calm and spa-like and therapeutic. And I mean, my bathroom counter, I like all my things to like match and I have them all in a certain order on the counter because I just like it to feel like I'm like at the spa in the morning. I like things a certain way because I know that will make me feel good and then I'll show up to work and perform well.
It's really true. And I think it's my like lack of feeling worthy that I've, basically grappled with my entire life that has caused me to be like, I don't know, maybe I don't deserve for it to feel like a spa like or whatever, right? Like I still
Well,
drive and
to be fair, I was the kid with the messy room always.
yeah.
Like I never did my laundry. I was that kid and it was like this pent up like hamster on a wheel feeling all the time. And then when I lived alone and I'd run around like a crazy person and travel and do all this stuff, at one point I hired a professional organizer, and she went through my house and was like, and she did this project with me where you go into every room of your house and she watches how you do things and was like, well, that's the reason it doesn't work. The reason your trash overflows is because your trash shouldn't be there. And it changed my life, and now I stick to it. I didn't invent all of these systems myself, but like even to the point of like your clothes being color coded. How should your closet be organized? You won't keep it organized if it's not really obvious where something goes and things like that. So if you maybe hire a professional organizer.
Yeah, we did it one time, and I think she was 82 years old, and she put in, like, the plastic on the thing, and I was like, "Whatever, Galen, you do you." Galen, like, took her around the house for,
Is
like, 2
Galen
months.
organized?
No, but Galen does not like chaos, and then he married me, so I don't
Yeah.
I feel so
Yeah.
bad. I mean, he's making it 16 years on this month. Like, he's just been hanging on for dear life, and both my girls have anxiety, right? You wonder why, because that's why they call me Shay NATO, but
I'll come over. We'll organize. I'll make your girls feel good. We'll talk about where your lotion should go. It's good.
well, I think the important part of this conversation is that it's really clear to say, what do you want? You know, what I wanted was security through massive financial success. I wanted to be lovable, and I decided to be that way by being special and extraordinary. And guess what? I went out and did exactly what I wanted. And you saying, I want to love my life is
Mhm.
what you've gone out and built. You cold called your husband, for goodness sakes. And on the
I
second
did.
date said, so where are we going? Is this going anywhere?
I should clarify, I would tell every person if we went on a first date and then we went on a second date, I would say just to set the expectation, like, this is what I'm looking for in life. This is my life plan. I would like someone to come along with this life plan. I literally would say, I'll do it with or without you. Like, I'm not afraid to have a child on my own. And Lane was like, cool, let's do it. Like, yeah, I like a plan.
So, you know, it's just really fun when you meet people who know what they want and they go get it. And so if for whatever reason you've been feeling like you don't deserve it, you're not capable, or you're like, hell yes, that's what I believe. You need to hang around more people like Allison and I, because then you get more courage and more boldness. The funny thing is you would say that on a second date with a man, Allison, but then when I started coaching you, I realized that you were totally buddy selling, that you were running around doing, "Hey, girl." And I'm like, "Whoa, what are you doing? Like, you're so
Yeah, because you're
talented."
conditioned to be a people pleaser in social settings,
So
which is just a completely different thing.
talk about that, because that journey that you said to me, you go, "Shay, I just changed 2 things. I changed Hey
Mhm.
Girl selling, and I changed who I was gonna go after." And
Yeah.
that was like 2 small changes that catapulted you from 150 to 188. You were still doing the calls and the greatness tracker and the
Yes.
15 face-to-faces, but there's one
Yes.
thing about doing activity and being busy. I interview people all the time. I had 2 guys this week. They're both 38. They both work 60, 70 hours a week. They're working hard, but it's like, it's the quality, it's the finesse with what you're doing. So tell me about the
So
switch
if
up.
I look back, that's an interesting point. So if I look back and you talk about meeting realtors, I would meet with a minimum of 5 realtors every single week and for years. And I met with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of realtors. And it took me, and I found some to like me enough to send me business or to see my sparkle or spend enough time with me, or I wore them down enough with gifts and all this other stuff where they eventually cave and send me business and realize I did a great job. But now I'm not scared to go to a meeting and ask, so who do you currently partner with for a lender? Would you consider giving me a shot? Right? Like, I'm not scared to ask that's not even a hard question. I think that's a pretty easy question. I'm not scared to say, I really like you. Do you like me? Can we work together? Only if I mean it, but I'm not scared to say it. And you said to me literally, stand in your power, be bold. I was like, okay, I'm a good student. So Shayla said I had to stand in my power and be bold, and I did it.
And all of a sudden your
I mean,
results start changing. You meet with
and then all of a
36.
sudden the results change.
Yeah.
And now to me, it's like a little game of like, how can I be more bold? How can I put myself out there more? And I'm flipping off the mindset of hide who you truly are and fit in with everybody.
Oh,
And as soon as you figure that out and you start to realize, oh, people actually like you way more when you're your whole self. They can sense you're being your whole self. They're attracted to that. And you see them for them. Now you have a relationship and it's really fun. And I have one probably intense business meeting with someone. And from that, Yeah, I'm a trust builder. Like, I would throw anyone on my back and try and carry them up a mountain with me. I love to support the people around me. So it is a lot of girl chat and things like that. But now I'm not scared to say, hey, we always girl chat. I adore you. Can we do more business together?
Yep. Yep. Because you started, like you said, an intense business meeting up front, an intense meaning
Yeah.
you were bold, you were direct, you were there to talk business. The purpose of the meeting wasn't to make a friend, it was to see how you could do business together.
Yeah.
What about up leveling the quality or I hate to say quality because the caliber of people that you're chasing, maybe the years of experience in the business or like where did your mindset change in that regard or just what is your mindset? Like what is your minimum
Yeah.
qualifications for people you want to meet or these
So
36 people? How do you do it?
yeah, I do believe that if a realtor doesn't do a couple buy side transactions, for me, it's like 5 or 6. If you're not doing 5 or 6 buy side transactions a year, I might not be the best person to even serve you. And I want to feel really confident in asking you these questions and seeing how I can help you. And I don't want you to show up to a meeting and feel like, oh my gosh, this girl just grilled me about what lender I partner with. I don't even know a lender, right? I don't want that either because I care so much about what the other person, how they feel and how I can help them. So I want them to be a qualified agent. Um, but I think a lot of it is in our head too. You said to me one time where said something about being nervous to call on someone and you said, "What's your net worth?" And I told you. And you're like, "Do you think that their net worth is that? Like, what did you make last year?" I'm like, No, I don't." And it's funny because we put these like realtors on this pedestal in our head, like we're calling Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
We're not. They're completely normal people who are squirrely and flighty and, disorganized and are just trying to figure out how to run a business too. They don't have sales training. They don't have sales coaching. We have a lot of things that we can offer them. And when you just shift your mindset of like, I'm really good at what I do. I would be hard pressed for you to find a loan officer who cares more about every single client than I do. I have literally, to this day, I've never missed a closing in my entire life. We have never closed a loan late. We have not. I will stay up all night looking at tax returns and finding weird foreign income and all the things I have to do to figure out your loan, even though I am not a technician, because I care so much about making someone proud and happy. And I will help grow your business, whether it's through events or referring clients to you or giving you ideas or being the positive person on the other end of the pep talk. And if you're a top person in our market, and why wouldn't you want that?
Yeah. Fantastic. Oh, that sounded so good because you got right into like what you say. So I hope everybody will just listen to that a few times and be able to speak
So
from your heart like that.
this is an interesting exercise. So I had lunch with 2 realtors yesterday. And when we're sitting there talking, they're like, "Oh, so you know so and so, and you know so and so," all these other loan officers that I do know. And I stopped and I said, "Okay, I'm so curious. You went to high school with one of them. You know so and so from this, you know so and so mutual friend. You knew them all apparently even before me. I cold called you and I brought you to coffee, and now we've done 6 deals together year to date. Why did you send me the business? Why didn't you send them the business?" And they looked at each other like, "I don't know." You go, like, think, like, what was it? And the one girl said, "Well, you told me that I should, like, if I'm a new agent, I should be aligned with someone who's an experienced loan officer to make me look good." I said, "Do you know that both of those loan officers have been in mortgages longer than I have been?" She's like, "Well, no, they didn't tell me any." I know. And then the other one, she goes, "Well, they never asked me for any business. I guess I didn't know they wanted me to send them business." And then they never called me again.
Wow.
And I only asked, not as a dig on anyone else, but how do I help coach loan officers on like, hey guys, if you don't ask. And then I just thought, that's me with every realtor I ever met, probably until 3 years ago. If happenstance they sent me the business, great. But if I didn't show up and say, I really want your business, I really want this opportunity, I didn't get it.
Yep. It's amazing how simple it is and how there can be so much resistance to just saying that and to yet sacrificing your well-being, your time with family, your personal life to like prove that you're worthy of it, but to just ask is the most direct line to getting it. Because if they say no, then now you know. If they say,
Well,
yeah, I can't send it to you because of blah, 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 blah. Thank you. You saved me time. Like, I'm so grateful that you said no.
yeah. And no one is offended. I had to shift this mindset. No one is offended if you're like, Shayla, I think you're amazing. Would you introduce me to your team and have them send me business? That's not offensive.
Yep.
I think you're amazing and I'd like your business because you're incredible. That's a compliment. That's very kind. It's like,
Exactly.
and I think we think we're going to offend people, and so we don't ask.
All right. So you don't like being stressed or anxious or not being able to be present with your baby boys or, dancing in front of the TV with your older daughter or being on the boat or whatever. So what are the key systems now? You talked about, this is going to be a part of your, or this is going to be the
Yeah.
talk for you at Slay with Shay is the
Yep.
systems that empower you to continue growing, love your life, and have some life balance. But can you tease us a little bit on
Yeah.
what you do, what you've built that gives you that confidence, not only about caring, but delivering so that the anxiety is low?
Yes. So a lot of it is like, here's the sheet and here's exactly what I do with the sheet, but here's the stopgap that stops the sheet. And then one of the things I'm going to go through is every person. Well, I can time block because then a fire file came up, and I can time block because appraisal came in low. You guys, we are not the only person in the world who can make a phone call to a realtor and say the appraisal came in low. Do you have a template that you can just tweak every single time the appraisal comes in low? We know appraisals come in low. We know we have income issues. We know we have a fire file. And so we also have a protocol for every single thing. Name something that could go wrong. And here's the 5-step process of what we do. And then if it goes wrong once, where was it in our checklist that this didn't go wrong, that this didn't go, should have happened and it didn't happen? Or how do we fix this from ever happening again so we never get to the escalation again? And I have this literally all tabbed out in a document that I'm going to have a QR code for that people can just scan, rip off, do for themselves. Because it has taken, someone asked me today, like, don't you get nervous that people are going to take all your stuff and just go run with it and copy everything? I'm like, no, I don't, because half the time people don't. And the one or two other people that do will probably find so much value in it that they want to align, right? Or they're like, not my competition, and they live in Texas or they live in California. I don't think of it that way. To me, it's like, how can we help other people? We have so many people like you and Brendan Donaldson, all these people who've paved the way and actually created all these documents and systems that I've just tweaked along the way and then said, what if we just put them into one document? What if we just do it this way? And just keep leveling it up. And so I think it's just someone breaking it down really, really simply for you and going, initial loan application, I do it over the phone, and here's the 3 reasons why. If you don't do it this way, I'd do it this way. But honestly, like taking it, people are like, I can't believe you do loan apps over the phone. If I don't do a loan app over the phone, now there's going to be like 4 rounds of phone tag that happen between my LP and the borrower. And then it's not going to get wrapped up until Saturday morning when the client wants to look at a house. And I don't want to wrap it up on Saturday morning.
Right.
I want to do a pre-approval meeting on Thursday at 3. And the only way to get them to agree to that is to take their application over the phone and say, great, I need 5 minutes to get your name, your date of birth, your social, where you live, where you work. And then do you have time to talk with Allison at 3 on Thursday? Yeah, great. Upload your documents by Thursday morning. Oh, okay, sure. Otherwise, you can't buy a house this weekend. Okay, great. It's having the stop gaps and going, no, I'm not. I refuse to do it. I'm not working that many hours. I'm not working every single Saturday. And then it's on Sunday, if you had to work on Saturday, going, what happened on Saturday that I ended up having to work? How could we have prevented it? Could we have done anything different? Is this a repeat issue with a referral partner who doesn't fit our systems, or that I should explain to how our systems work so that we can work better together and see if we align?
What you're talking about is being a true rainmaker. It is being confident in your ability to systematize, that it's not about the perfect process, and it's not about not having problems, and it's not about not having to bend your rules occasionally. It's actually about having a vision for what you want it to look like, working a plan. You think Allison works the 5 Rainmaker thing? She sets 2 appointments a day. She's bold and always has a next step. She's using her technology so she doesn't lose track of leads and where they're going. She's designed systems so that it's lower stress and anxiety on her. But I guarantee the flip side of that is you get a lot of wows. And every time we get a wow as salespeople, it's like, it's like a drug hit. We're like, woo, I'm doing it right. And it's the opportunity for the next referral and the next relationship. But for most
But
of
it's
us,
also being trained and having the confidence. If you get a client, wow, to ask for a referral. You get an agent, wow, do you have anyone else in your office that you think I would like to work with?
absolutely.
It's constantly having those systems so that you don't have to make phone calls for 7 hours a day. because you always have a lineup of people to meet with because you found the little cheats in the system to make it go faster.
Well, the reason we want you at Slay with Shay is because we want to pour into you. We want to give you what we've been given by others, and we want to give you that cheat code because we know what it's like to be a loan officer. And especially if you're by yourself, if you're at that early phase where you're in the 60 to 80 deals, it's the hardest part of your business because your sales, your marketing, your pipeline management, you're the technician, you're all the things. And the common excuse is, well, I don't even know where to begin. I know that I'm living in chaos. I know I want to break through to the next level. And if you come to an event like this and spend time around people like Allison and get all of the resources and materials that the speakers are giving, which are, by the way, very simple, non-pretty checklists and processes, and you can start going, I'm going to become more systematized. And then I'm going to be an accountable salesperson. You blow up. This is how you go from 80 units to 188 units. But it's really challenging to change in place. 95% of our thoughts today are the same as they were yesterday. The chaos that you had yesterday is going to ensue again today and tomorrow and next month and next year, unless you take a time out, set a new intention, grab the systems from somebody else that has proven that they work, and then you believe it's worth taking the time to implement this stuff, and you stay around a community of people that are doing what you want to be doing. They always say, find someone who has what you want, do what they do, and you will get what they've got. And Allison, I can tell you, I wish that I was 28 or 34 or 40 and meeting you and saying, I've always wanted life balance. Always, I've always been so afraid of my drive and my work ethic and that I will do nothing but work. My parents did that. My parents got divorced because they probably had no fun and joy. I didn't see my mom have a lot of friends. I didn't know how to do all that, but I wanted it so bad. And so to be able to be around someone like you that is living it, doing it, and walking the talk is just such a gift. And so thank you for being a part of my team. Thank you for opening yourself up to grow a team and lead others, because not only does it make you better and engaged, but I know you're changing the lives of other people. So what a fantastic episode on round 2.
Thanks, Shay.
And come hang out with us at Slay with Shay in September. This will be the last big event I'm doing, Allison. And, you and I we'll do lots of other little things, and we're very graceful, but these big events are a monstrous amount of work. They're also pure magic. And so
Yeah.
if this resonates, if you go to the website and you vibe with what we're saying and you know you deserve it and need it, just make the leap. Get over your excuses and come join us.
I think too, people think that, oh, I can hear him on a podcast. I can hear him on a YouTube video. The real magic is going, okay, I think they said this, but my business does it this way. How do I blend the two instead of going back to your computer all by yourself on Monday? I don't understand. And then just going back to what you did. It's being able to go up to a speaker afterwards and going, wait. Well, what would you say here? What would you do here? And that's what really, I think, is the power in events. And if you haven't been to a Slay with Shay event, it literally feels like there's magic in the room because there's such good energy and good people with all great energy who are willing to share. So it's not something to miss.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say is that I'm going to spend a lot of time on building a team. And when you came to Guild, it was you and Shannon. And you were like, Shayla, I've got the best LOA on the planet. She is polished. She runs like me. She's got amazing attitude. She's super talented and smart. But you didn't know how to scale past them. You knew you were lucky enough to have this one amazing sidekick that you wanted to do well with, but you knew that you two were tapped out. And so it was like, how do you hire that second and that third? And a lot of that is customized, right? It's like, okay, well, let's talk about that person, their experience, their talents, what they like, what their goals are. Let's talk about where your business comes from, how you get referred, what are your talents, how do you hire to complement you? And so it's a little bit more than just, a podcast.
Here's the blueprint.
It's a compliment.
Yeah.
You need to have a conversation, but it's not a long conversation. I mean, many times it's a 10-minute conversation on a break or in a hallway or whatever that unlocks.
I mean, I've rebuilt my entire business, and it's not like I talk to you for an hour every week on the phone. It's like, Shayla, I need this, blah, 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 on a voice memo. And then I get a 6-minute voice memo back. I'm like, done, got it. Cool. We're doing it this way. But again, it's find someone who's built what you want to build, and you've I mean, I don't know who wouldn't want to build what you've built. And so being able to learn from you is incredible.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. And this was amazing. Have a great day, Allison.